Hey, what's up, guys? This is MPFSU or FSU in HD, back with another video. This is the defensive series. We're going to be talking about the cover 4 defense, or quarters coverage is what I like to call it. This is my scheme that I kind of hodgepodge together or created. And just to give you a disclaimer, I don't claim to be best at defense. I consider myself average at best, or better than average, or average at best. So don't claim to be best, but I do understand how the defense works in real life, and how you can perhaps implement this in the game. Now, if this helps you out, great. If not, then that's perfectly fine. I do understand, and hopefully if it helps you out, you subscribe to my channel and continue to like my content. So let's get into a little bit of background on quarters defense. The reason, now in the past, it's pretty much known as a prevent defense. Nowadays, it's not a prevent defense anymore. What it has become is teams are using this defense to better combat no huddle spread offenses. And what the reason being is that it's one particular play, but you can make several adjustments with split coverage. Now, obviously, EA does not have all the split coverages in the game, but there's ways to get them from. There's a way to implement them in the game without having to, like move a lot of players around or do a whole bunch of things. Also, the great other things that make it good against the spread is that your safeties are now taught to be involved in the run game as well as your corners. So you have to really make sure, if you're going to base out of the cover 4 quarters coverage, you make sure that you have really good cornerbacks. They have to know how to tackle, and specifically in the game, the video game, because the safeties don't necessarily read run and then react to it. What they do is they pause, read, and then go ahead into their back pedal, which is not how the defense works. They're supposed to read some keys and then support the run, or adjust the coverage on the fly. And you can't do that in the game, but the way to get around that is, for one, you want to have a whole lot of speed at corner and defense. All your defense backs need to be fast. That's from the corner to the safeties. You want to also bring in your third safety to help with run support. Now, I'm using the 4-3 playbook, and it is very flexible, and you'll see here in a few when I go into my next video when I talk about the split coverages. But back to the speed thing, you want your safeties to be able to close that gap, because you have those deep safeties sitting there in those splits, and in order for them to react to the run, they have to go from their back pedal into a full sprint. And if they're fast, they can close the gap quickly and contain a play from going for a lot more yardage, and that's what you want. You also pretty much want pretty good defensive line and linebackers, because they're not going to do much as far as movement, but I'll show you a few things in some videos. This first video, we're just going to talk about the basic coverage, and then the next video I'll talk about the split coverage and how you can adjust that. So let's go ahead into it now. You see here I have the big nickel package. That's what I would go with. Now, if you have a good, a really good nickel corner, which I do have that in our dynasty. But if you have a good nickel corner, you may not have to put the safety there. But in this situation, I did, because he's an impact guy, and I put him in the box. And you'll see in a second, he is pretty much in the box. And so now I have 3 safeties, 2 cornerbacks, and 2 linebackers, and 4 defensive linemen, which makes this a 4-2-5. But normally, for me personally, against teams that I feel that are going to run more out of their offense, and you can get the gist of it by when you first come out. I normally try to base out of the 3-3-5 nickel when I see 11 personnel, and so the key thing is you want to match up with the cover 4. You want to match up everyone. So I know in my previous defenses, I had rules for the 4-3 where I would have against 2 wide receivers I would keep my linebackers in. Against 3 to 4 wide receivers, I mean, I would go nickel, and I rarely even go dime. But with the cover 4, you actually want to match up. So that's the reason you want to bring in your safeties into the corner spots, because they're going to be required to tackle, and because you're going to have going against some spread teams that have 4 to 5 wide receivers. You need corners in there that can tackle, and not corners that's going to be run over by running backs. So let's go ahead and check out the 3-3-5 quarters, and let's see. Let's go ahead and run just a normal run play, and let's see how the defense reacts to it. All right, and I wasn't even controlling that guy, but let's look at that replay real quick. Okay, so as you see, look at how the splits are. These guys are lined up outside the hashes, and so they're trying to take. First of all, they're taking away these vertical routes. They have the ability to take away the vertical routes, and then they also have the ability to run support. Now, if you have a good safeties like I do right here, you can run this, and as you see, as the linebackers flow everything to the outside, this guy comes and cleans up. Now, it's only probably like a 2 to 3 yard gain, but we'll take that out of a quarters defense. As you see, and we'll go back, and I'll show you the pause real quick here. So let's look at this guy as the play. Let's see if we can zoom out. Oops. Let's see if we can zoom out here. So as you see, as we hike the ball, see how those safeties are still standing still as the ball is being hiked. They don't immediately go into their back pedal, although you see these corners, they do go into their back pedal. And these guys are still standing still. And the reason is they're supposed to read a run and then go ahead and fly up the field and make a play. But EA Tiburon has not quite figured out how to get them to do that. So what they do is they go ahead and go into a back pedal. Now, once they realize run, which is a few seconds after, if they have speed, they can close this gap quicker. Now, Joyner is only a 90 speed guy. Now, if he's 95, 96, 97 speed, he's going to close that gap even further and maybe tackle this guy for a loss. And that's the point I was trying to make about having those guys be really fast so they can close that distance very, very quickly. Now, he is fast enough to not let it go for a long game. But like I said, I would recommend having faster guys back there that can tackle. Okay, same thing over here. As soon as he hears it, he flows to the ball, and that's what you want. So now against the pass, we just call a different play here. Let's see. So now a no huddle is very easy to get to your. You can just go up a few plays, and then you're there. So, and you want to hit, you want to make sure you know where your cover 4 is against the no huddle. So you want to go ahead and get into that. And let's go ahead and let's run something that's going to go over the middle. Let's do double cross. And I'm going to see how they react to this. Okay. Now, he didn't have that long to throw, but we're matched up. And as you see here, everybody gets over the top, and they stay with the pass. And as you see this here, you see this corner here, this defensive back here. What he's getting ready to do is he's going to match up and pattern read this guy here, but they went ahead and passed it to that. Let me see if we can get him to throw it. See if we can try to throw it. If he's going to try to throw it deep. Yeah, he's going to keep throwing it underneath. And which that's what the quarters gives up. It does give up that underneath. It takes away the deep throw. And so he tried it. He actually got it in there that time. But that's what it's taken away. It's taking away that deep throw. So as you see here, they get over the top. And then they read. As you see, they're making their reads. As you see, this I guess is what I really want to show you. This linebacker didn't play very well, but he was supposed to give up that short stuff. But I wanted to show you what the defensive backs do once they go into a pass. So you see here, and this because they're running this post, and watch how he reacts to it, gets under it, and matches that guy's route underneath it, and not over the top. Now, they do a better job at that. Now, they didn't do a good job in 2009, but they do a better job at that in 2014 version of the game. But as you see here, and this guy is going to go right over the right. So he's watching this, and he knows that post is coming this way. So he's jumping into the middle of the field, and he's matching this guy down here that's running this dig route. And so that is the quarters against the pass. And generally you'll get that matching if you got good safeties, and they'll do really well at it. If you have bad safeties, they're not going to do very well at that. So that's the importance of your safeties and your corners being very good. Now, if your linebackers are good too, that helps tremendously. I mean, you really have to have you could take makes your defense very flexible, and you can take advantage of all the talent that you have there. Now I want to talk about one other thing. And now, like I said, I like to use this versus teams that I feel are going to have 11 personnel and run very well. Now, if I have a better defensive line like I have all 90s, I may just stay with the normal nickel. Now, in this case, I got the better defense of defensive linemen. So let's see how they play to the run. Same exact thing. Now they're going to be a little bit better towards the pass. Now let's look at the pass real quick. And we play. And I'm going to leave this video on that note. Alright, call that quarters. Now it's up to you which ones you prefer, but you have to match up. Make sure you're matching up properly. And I missed it. There it is. So you have to make sure you know where it's at too. Let's go ahead and run that other play again. Double cross. Alright. Now obviously this cover 4 is going to take care of those verticals as he takes off and runs. But let's see if we got the same thing with the coverage. So as you see there, see he's matching, he's getting underneath that post. And they're just reacting. They're not going to continue to drop back and go deep unless they have vertical routes run that way. As you see, they're pattern matching. You see this guy comes up to cover this dig route, or maybe he's coming up because he's taking off at running at this point. But yeah, he decides it too late. But he's coming up to cover this dig route. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to come up and cover that dig route. And this guy is taking away that post. And I mean, you see, they changed. Their coverage is not the same. It's changing. They go into their back pedal, and then they read where the pass is going in their area, and then they adjust. Now, if they had verticals going, they would match them up man to man and run those verticals. And that's the beauty of 2014 right there, folks. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end it on this. The next video, I'm going to talk about the split coverages. I hope y'all look forward to seeing that. I appreciate y'all checking out my videos. Please subscribe to the channel, share the video, and thank y'all guys for watching. I'll talk to y'all later.